In your personal life or even your working life, you're using Gmail for your day-to-day basis. For probably you're doing working in a company, your company use G Suite, App Suite, or you're working in your personal life using Gmail as well too. Perfect. Because this is the right video for you, because in this video I'm going to show you how you can effectively use the Gmail and you can make the best out of it, and you can not really just use it as an email tool, but it can be a great productivity tool for you too. You want that, right? And one more thing, it doesn't matter you're using the G Suite paid version or using the free one, doesn't matter. My every tips, this productivity is going to work for you. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Sure. Thank you.
So let's give a big hand to these student leaders to bring the training to you. Why don't you give them a big hand to them?
So very first thing is about in the Gmail is about, one of the things you could do is about, normally beside Gmail, what we do is when you get a lot of emails coming into play, what we do is about, we normally go to the here and then we can go to different apps, and normally the most popular and useful apps is a calendar. So then normally we go to the calendar and then we normally log down in particular timeline when we do different kind of meetings. So one of the few things I want to show it to you is here is about, rather than you opening up a new tab, you can do it actually in everything in your Gmail. However, so it's just simply like when you are into this Gmail interface, what you do is you can just look at the top right corner, you can see there's a calendar. You click into it and here you can see all the planned dates. Like an example, if you have got any particular meeting, it will show you. And not only that, you can move to the other days. You can go and find another days and you find any of the particular. Right now, this is for the demo accounts I'm showing for you, so not much here. So I'm going to click here today and you can come to it. Like an example, you just talk to your colleague and then you say, hey, you want to let's have a meet. So what you could do is you can click it here, meeting with Sally, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. You can write it down, Sally at vu@gmail.com. You can write it down and you put it in an email. So Sally is included here already. And then what you could do is even you can add a location as well too. Let's say you can add it on Starbucks, DNB in Fu, Paul Plaza. You add the location, so this is exactly what it is. And then you could, and the same way you can choose any particular color as well too, because you want to show that what kind of meeting is this one. So what I normally do for work, I use green color. For the social life, I use green, and for other non-profit activities, I normally use the yellow or the red. So you can choose your particular color, so you can differentiate what kind of activity is that, so you could be mentally ready for that. It's actually a great useful thing. So for this one, it's a social casual activity, so I'm going to choose just keep the blue. Normally by default is always blue. It gives to the place, and you can keep yourself busy. And you can, if you want to have an online meeting, so you can always add an online meetings to join with Google Meets, and that links is already there. So now you just press save, and then what you do too, you can send an invitation. Send the invitation, the invitation gone. And now you can see this calendar is coming through, 1 p.m. Starbucks Plaza. You have a meeting with Sally. So it's going through, and that's the way you can visualize all present existing calendar, and you can see which slot is available and you can book. Like an example, you decided that, okay, this afternoon I'm going to work on something about business plan. So like an example, you can come in, business plan review for Harvey. So for this Harvey giving me a business plan, so I'm going to review it that one. So 3 p.m. I need probably 1.5 hours, so I can put it on 1.5 hour. And what I could do is about now I'm going to put it's a relative work, so I'm going to put the green, and I'm not going to review with Harvey. I'm going to just review it myself first, and then I'm going to give you feedback. So I'm not going to add any particular guest. And then what I'm doing, I'm going to press save, and now bingo. So my days are getting filled up and planned. And that's the way, if you realize the productivity game is about, is not you waiting for the day, but you are actually making the day, and you organizing your time, you putting your time block for a particular work and getting things done. So in that 3 p.m., I will see my calendar. I'm going to only do that. I'm not going to do anything else unless something really on the fire and so on. So that's the first tips, all right? So that's the way you make your day and make your week and make your month. If you see my calendar, I have like a whole month's plan ahead. I do this one, and I highly suggest you to at least plan your next 2 days so you know what's going on. So now, so you get your calendar going, right? And now, like an example, you're meeting at a work or with the teammates or a colleague or a boss, giving you a particular thing to do, like they give you some particular task. So now you can actually, rather than going to another app, you can actually have a task here. You can add it on in your just Gmail here, just clicking that on that button. So now what do? You just click out the get started. So a fresh start. So what you need to do is about basically you can just come in and add a particular task here. Let's say example, talk to Mika example. So I can even put a date which day I want to talk to Mika. So let's say tomorrow I want to talk to them. So I got the task thing. And another thing is example, like I just talked to my boss. My boss told me that, hey, talk to Mike about the progress. So I just put it on. Immediately I put this one, and on which day I can actually even plan a day, like I want to do it today. So now, so that's the way I can actually put it on, and you can see this one. What are the today? What are the tomorrow? And not only that, even I can plan for, let's say, about visit the factory, and I can put it on. I can do it on Friday because I just talked, or like an example when you were meeting and the things is coming forward, and then you can just talk and which day you want to do it as well too. So let's say 11 o'clock today and tomorrow. So that's all the tasks are planned. So now as soon as I talk to Mike about the progress, I would just put it on text and it's immediately gone. So normally what I do is about when I text something more than 15 minutes or 10 minutes minimum, I will put it on in the calendar. And if I need something, get it done in less than 10 or 15 minutes, I'll always put it on the task and just put it on a particular day and just get them done. So that's always the difference between a calendar blocking. The reason I'm doing in a particular calendar blocking is because it needs a time where I need to go out of the office, or I have to go to the meeting room, or I need more than 30 minutes to do something, or 15 minutes on something. So anything I need less than 15 minutes of time, I'll put in a task and just get it done and plan it when I want to do. So now I got my action to get it done. I got my email. So normally in the email, I'm getting a lot of response from different people in my inbox, and that will turn into a task, or I will turn into a calendar blocks to get them done. And now there's one more thing, notes. So when I'm having a conversation with my colleague, or a conversation with my bosses, or a conversation with my friends, or I'm getting a lot of information, or even I'm reading a lot of things in a website. So what I get, I'm getting a lot of information. So I want to make notes. So one of the great way to make notes is also about Google has a Keep, and you don't need to go and another URL to do a Keep. Go to google.com. You can simply just come in here and you can click here, and you can add or any particle notes, like an example, how to create an NFT. So I was reading about NFT explain. Philip Morris, my keynotes is coming. So all the notes I put on here, so I can easily do that. And at the same time, you can always make new notes. Even you can clip out some copy of the text of the website you're reading or news you're reading, or somebody say, hey, Johnny said this year the share market will return around 10%, like an example. So share market prediction by Johnny. So I just put a title, and then I put Johnny said what he said, because I find that what he said, the way he explained to me, it really makes sense. But I don't want to just use my brain as a storage place, but rather than thinking about it. So I'm going to just, what I get information I dump it here, and it stays in my notes, and then I will review it. So one of the things you could do is you could simply come to the calendar, and you could do is one of the best things about some kind of off time. So you could do it is about review Google Keep notes at every just need 30 minutes just to make sure that what is in the notes, and I can put it on even in repetitive manner, because I want to see which days I'm doing it. So every Thursday, Tuesday and Thursday I want to review it at 4:30 to 5, because that's like a downtime already after like end of the day. So I can get sure that all the notes I'm reviewing, I'm putting into done, and I'm putting into save. So now you can see this one every Tuesday and every Thursday I have a Google Calendar to remind me to check the Google Meet. So that means the information I'm gathering, and then I'm putting in the notes in the keeps, and then I'm also getting the calendar reminder to make sure that I'm really using that information, because there's no point using if there's no point, you are not using the information, because you are not using the information means you are not using the tool. So that's one of the crucial thing. You could do it as well. If you want to add even more apps in the right side, like an example, if you're using any particular apps, even you can add Zoom there. If you can add Slack here too, to make sure that everything in one place. So there's a lot of tools here. All you need to do is just about do it, and which one you want to do. Even you can do to-do lists. And normally I use to-do lists sometimes for my work, so you can add all of them related to. So now, one more thing I want to talk about, which is very important. So in an email, it's very much important that you normally, when you compose an email, there is no signature on board right now. So what I want to show you is that always use an email signature, because that really shows you to do that. And it could be very simple. Like an example, all you need to do is top right corner, go to settings, and then you can basically write it down. Regards, John Mesut Pervez, founder, VSHR Group. And then what you need to know more, please visit, if you haven't part of the website, or if you have part of the LinkedIn profile, and you can find it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few other things. Like an example, I'm going to go into the LinkedIn, copy my LinkedIn profile here, and then what I'm going to come back here, please visit, click here, connect me on LinkedIn, click here. It's actually that simple. You don't really need to make it very complicated thing. If you wanted to check it out, how to make a great email signature, keep watching the video. In the end of the video, I'll show you how to make a really professional email signature. But here I'm really showing you that how to make a very simple email signature in a very short period of time. So here I want to give you a website. If you have a website, you should hyperlink that one too. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to search in Google. Where's my website? Yep, that's my website. So I'm going to copy that website URL, and then I'm going to come back here, and what I'm going to do it, and bingo. So now I get a regards, and I can even actually make it a little bit bigger, bold it to make it people so can see it. I have some space. It's about what I do is very simple. It's about what I need to do is about now create new signature. So write down John Mesut Pervez, founder, create, and I did just put the paste there. And now what I need to do is I just put it on as a default, so always it will be defaulted to. If you not put a default, you need to select every time you want to do. So what I don't want to do, I want to save my time. So I put it this one, and then I'm going to do and save changes. As soon as I put the save changes, and then what I do as soon as I'm clicking into it, I'm always getting an email signature ready for me. Yeah, so that's basically it. So when you do all this thing is about you get an email signature ready. So this is the way you can do a great productivity, and you have your great signature, so people can linked there, so people can click and so get connected with you or get more about you, so they can come up with an idea to work with you. So that's the point. You want it got to be more productive and everything in one place. I have been talking to another my senior colleague was saying, oh, Microsoft is great because everything is one place, but in Google everything is not one place, but it is now. You can get a lot of one thing, everything in one place, and get going. Here you go. Keep watching. If you want to how to make email signature, go ahead and click this video right now so you can make a great professional email signature to take your things forward to. And if you wanted to, and we are getting interesting video coming out almost every couple of days. So don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.